When I sing, I don't want them to see that my face is black. I don't want them to see that my face is white. I want them to see my soul, and that is colorless. Marian Anderson broke barriers, from the color bar at Constitution Hall to the all-white casting tradition at the famous Metropolitan Opera. She also pushed through obstacles such as being born into a poor family to people discriminating against her because of the color of her skin. She achieved her dream and became one of the most well-known opera singers of the 20th century. My documentary is about how a modest, unassuming woman, born into poverty and burdened with the social stigma of a dark shade of skin, became one of the most extraordinary and influential figures of the 20th century. Marian Anderson was born on February 27, 1897 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, during the transition from slavery to freedom. Marian's family didn't have much money. Her mother, Anna Delilah Anderson, worked in a tobacco factory, scrubbed floors at Wanamaker's department store, and did people's laundry. Marian's father, John Anderson, was a hard worker, but like most black men of his day, he had little education, so there weren't many jobs available for him. He ended up working at the Reading Railroad Terminal in central Philadelphia, working long hours for low pay. He sold ice, performed a variety of odd jobs, some which were dangerous, and shoveled coal. Some people say he was a small-time liquor dealer as well, but even doing all of this, his total income did not amount to much. From an early age, Marian displayed a fondness for music. Before she turned 2, she was already singing made-up songs, while banging on a toy piano, and by the age of 4, everyone in her family recognized that she had a gift of singing. In 1906, Anderson started to attend an integrated school, the Stanton Grammar School, where roughly half of the students were white, and all of the teachers were white as well. In 1907, Marian was selected to sing in the People's Chorus. The chorus took her to other parts of the city, including some predominantly white neighborhoods. Marian's family attended the Union Baptist Church, which contained more than 1,000 members. In 1903, just after her 6th birthday, she joined the Union Baptist Junior Choir. The congregation recognized and believed in the talent that Marian displayed so much that they started a fund, Marian Anderson's Future Fund, which would pay for voice lessons with the city's leading voice instructors and support her performances. The fund would also provide Marian with the support she needed after her father's death in 1911. She continued to give concerts while she attended the South Philadelphia High School for Girls, and her teacher, Dr. Lucy Langdon Wilson, arranged for the famed Italian voice master Giuseppe Boghetti to hear her. He remembered the first meeting so vividly. Boghetti said, "At the end of a long, hard day, when I was weary of singing and singers, a tall, calm girl came in and poured out Deep River in the twilight and made me cry." After Marian's vivid visit with Boghetti, she began receiving voice lessons from him. On April 23, 1924, Marian and her new manager, William Bailey King, took a giant step and held a concert at New York's Town Hall. Unfortunately, it was poorly attended and the critics found her voice lacking. Marian was so discouraged that she contemplated abandoning her career choice. When she was 15 years old, Marian began voice lessons with Mary Saunders Patterson, a prominent black soprano. Shortly after, the Philadelphia Choral Society held a benefit concert, providing $500 for her to study for 2 years with the leading contralto, Agnes Reeve-Snyder. In 1925, she entered the Louison Stadium competition. She beat 300 rivals and sang in New York's amphitheater with the Philharmonic Orchestra accompanying her. In 1928, she sang for the first time at Carnegie Hall. Eventually, she decided to go to Europe, where she spent a number of months studying with Sarah Charles Kahir before the start of a highly successful European singing tour. Throughout her life, Marian had experienced racism, but the most famous event occurred in 1939, when Sol Hurek, Marian's manager, tried to rent Washington, D.C.'s Constitution Hall, the city's top center, but was told no dates were available. In 1935, the hall established a new clause, concert by white artists only. Hurek would have been satisfied with the response he'd received, but a rival manager asked about renting the hall for the same dates and was told they were open. Herrick called and questioned the director, and the director told Herrick the truth, even yelling before slamming down the phone. "No Negro will ever appear in this hall when I'm manager." After the public heard about this, they were outraged. Famous musicians protested, and the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, resigned from the Daughters of the American Revolution, who owned the hall. Roosevelt, along with Herrick and Walter White of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, encouraged Secretary of the Interior Harold Ikes to arrange a free concert on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial for Easter Sunday. On April 9th, Marian sang before 75,000 people and millions of radio listeners.
Genius draws no color line. And so it is fitting that Marian Anderson should raise her voice in tribute to the noble Lincoln whom mankind will ever honor. Miss Marian Anderson.
Several weeks later, Marian gave a private concert at the White House, where President Franklin D. Roosevelt was entertaining King George VI and Queen Elizabeth of Britain. In 1965, Marian gave her final performance at Carnegie Hall in New York. Afterward, she settled with her husband, Orpheus Fisher, on a farm in Connecticut. She died of congestive heart failure on April 8, 1993. The following June, a memorial service attended by 2,000 people paid a tribute to the singer whose beautiful voice exposed the country's ugly racial divisions.
No one who has been to an Anderson concert can forget her compelling presence from the second she appears on stage, and the complete command of the audience that comes to her without any conscious effort to achieve it.
It's easy to look back, self-indulgently, feeling pleasantly sorry for oneself and saying, "I didn't have this and I didn't have that." But it is only the grown woman regretting the hardships of a little girl, who never thought they were hardships at all. She had things that really